Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom has signed the Open Grazing Prohibition and Ranches Establishment Amendment Bill 2017 into law. The bill was passed by the Benue State House of Assembly on Tuesday after a clause-by-clause consideration of the reports of the House Standing Committee on Agriculture and Natural Resources during plenary. Ortom had earlier sought the review on the grounds that the principal law had some lacuna which needed an amendment to deter those who flagrantly disrespect the law. In the new amendment, any person found moving livestock on foot within or across urban centers, rural settlements, or any part of the state would pay 500,000 naira as fine for the first offender, while subsequent offenders would be liable to pay 1 million naira with appropriate prison terms and options of fine. A 14-year jail term with an option of 5 million naira fine for anyone who engages the services of an underage child to break the law, with equally various fines for confiscated livestock, which includes 50,000 naira fine per cow, 10,000 naira per pig, 5,000 naira per cow, and 1,000 naira per poultry bird. While signing the law, the governor said the old moderate fine for a confiscated animal, which prescribed 2,000 naira per cow, was reviewed to 50,000 naira based on current realities and the cost spent in bringing and caring for them at the state's quarantine center. Another amended area covered the 7-day period of grace, during which the confiscated livestock must be claimed by their owners or risk being auctioned.
And thank God, other states also brought into the law that we enacted here several years ago. And we quickly discovered that their charges are very high. Others are 30,000, some 40, some 60, some 70,000 for every cattle that is arrested doing open grazing. And we say, look, this is policy or law that should be dynamic. And so we too will have to do something, because we kept seeing them coming in. Even yesterday, some cattle were arrested in my local government. A lot of them, they've been brought to the quarantine center here in Makodi. In Gwe West, in Ado, in Ohimini, they're all over the place. Because even when we arrest them, the cost of transporting those cattle to Makodi and what they pay, it does not affect them. So I appreciate the Benue State House of Assembly for the good work and also for the speedy work that they have done, because we are all concerned. I'm concerned, they're also concerned. Everybody here is concerned, and that is why we have seen everybody here during this signing. And we have decided to reverse the charges that we gave to cows that were arrested in Benue State who have trespassed against our law. They are moving forward. They are henceforth, if they are found wanting, other provisions of the law, as was enacted in 2017, still stands. But two areas that we have amended: the charge for every cow that is arrested have now changed, and also the 7 days period that we give to allow people to claim their cattle, and the charges thereof have also been amended. And we sat in the Executive Council, discussed this matter, and sent to the House of Assembly, and the House of Assembly agreed with us that for every cattle, instead of the 2,000 naira that the law prescribed for the owner of the cattle to pay. Now, based on the national outlook of those who have enacted laws prohibiting open grazing, and what we feel that we should do, and the kind of pays that our livestock guard go through and other security agencies supporting them, and the kind of resources we spend to help them bring these cattle to quarantine centers. We sent to the House of Assembly, and the House of Assembly have approved that for every cow arrested by our livestock guard, the owners should pay the sum of 50,000 naira. Instead of the meager 2,000, because they came here, sometimes 2,000 cows are arrested, and they come and say, how much? And then they just pay and go away. And for every cow that is arrested and kept in a quarantine center, if you don't collect it the same day, after paying 50,000 naira, you will pay an additional 20,000 naira per each cow. If you don't pay, and if you cannot pay within 7 days, the law permits us to auction such cow. And so, this is the amendment we have done. So, as from today, as I'm signing, that is the implication. 50,000 for those who their cattle are arrested, and also 20,000 if they are kept there, depending on how many days. If they are kept there for 7 days, it's 140,000 that you pay. If they are kept there for 1 day, you pay 20. If for 2 days, you pay 40,000. In addition to the 50,000 mandatory fee that you're going to pay. All this we're doing is meant to tell the Fulanis or Hausa or Yoruba or any person who is doing open grazing in Benue State that it is wrong. So this is where we are, and that is what we're going to sign today. So on this signing, that is where we are. But let me add that I want to appreciate the National Assembly. Just said yesterday that they have heeded to the advice of the PDP Governors Forum that was held in Port Harcourt in Rivers State, which I was in attendance. And we appealed to them that let us not give APC-led government opportunity to truncate the amendments on the electoral law, because there are several other things that must be done. Electronic transmission, and several other things that should be done. And the issue of primaries for various political parties should not allow the president to decline assent again and push it back to the National Assembly. Thank God, and I want to commend them, that they all deleted the clause that the president vetoed. And at least I believe that this week or next week they will be sending it to the president. Let the president sign. For some of us, whichever way you sign, whether direct or indirect, or option A4, or anyone you sign, we can contain the problems in our party and be able to get candidates that can compete with that of the APC. One thing we know that APC have failed. Go and check the record. When PDP handed over power to APC in 2015, how much was the dollar? 190 naira. Today is how much? Over 500 naira. When we handed over power in 2015, what was the unemployment rate? When we handed over power, what was the security problems that we had in this country? I think we used to hear about Borno.
This is one of the most important moves that the governor of Benue State, Samuel Ortom, has made in the year 2022. This is because the law, Open Grazing Prohibition and Ranches Establishment Law 2017, is a law of peace, it's a law of security, security of lives and property. And since the law was enacted and he signed, the law has brought relative peace. We've not had it as bad as we used to have. And so for his administration to consider amending the law in collaboration with the State House of Assembly to add sanctions and make the law stiffer is something worth commending, because the law is about peace, as I have said. It doesn't discriminate. It is a win-win for both cattle owners and crop farmers. So I am here primarily to give my support to Benue people and the government of Samuel Ortom, that we who are aspiring have seen what he's doing, and we need to give support and to tell Benue people that we are in agreement with what the government of Samuel Ortom is doing as far as security is concerned. And if given the opportunity, I will continue from there. I will uphold the law and other laws of the state that seek to provide security, that seek to provide development for Benue people. So that is why I'm here, to lend my voice to this major development, this major step in the right direction by the government of Samuel Ortom to ensure that farmers and cattle owners live in peace. If you rustle animals, you will be apprehended and taken to a competent court. The same way, if you allow your animals to graze openly, your animals will be impounded and you will be arrested and tried by a competent court. So this is a good development for Benue State, and I expect Benue people to support this government, and anyone who is aspiring to lead the state in 2023 should see this move as a matter of importance, as a necessity for all of us. Government is not for APC, is not for PDP, is not for ABGA. It is a government of Benue State. It is a government of the people. The people elected it. And so any decision that is made by the government is for all of us. So I expect Benue people to support this administration as far as this law is concerned. I have not seen the various sections that have been amended, but I will take a look at the law, and I'll be speaking more about it in specifics. But on the whole, I think this is a wonderful, wonderful move, because over time, many people felt that the sanctions were not stringent enough. So now that the government has increased the sanctions, I expect herders and cattle rustlers to obey and respect the provisions of this law, and not just the open grazing law, other laws of the state, like the law on kidnapping, the law against violence of any kind, domestic violence, and all those laws. I mean, this is why government is in place. This is why laws are made for people to obey. So that's why I'm here.
Thanks for checking out SYMFONI on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe and like our videos for updates.